Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier will grant the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sacrificing your time, your precious, precious time. I'm joined today by Saint Lucy herself.
Hello,
Lucy.
everyone. Yeah, hello.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistines. I'm glad you guys could be here today discussing another movie. Some previous episodes include, though, Iron Man, 2008's Iron Man, Blue Beetle, the recent meh superhero film, Gran Turismo, Ford vs. Ferrari, great film, and The Nun.
Blah.
And surprise, surprise, today we are discussing The Nun 2, directed by Michael Chavis. Sounds like a Jewish holiday. Before we say anything at all, did we or did we not like this film? Did I like this film? St. Lucy.
Yes, you did like this film. But it's, again, it's not your favorite horror movie of the year or anything.
What's my favorite horror movie of the year?
Probably Talk to Me, but I'm blanking on horror films that have come out this year.
Is Bo's Afraid a horror film?
No. I guess if you want to say psychological horror, but nah.
I think you liked this film very much.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. I think you liked it much more than Nun 1. I think you had a lot of fun watching this movie. So I will say off the top, I do think this is now one of the better Conjuring films.
Really? That's a bold statement.
Well, I think it's much better than Nun 1. I think it's much better
Okay.
than Annabelle 1 and 3. And much better than La Llorona. And so that's half of so it's in the upper half, I think.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the Annabelles right now, so I don't know. I'd have to maybe get a quick synopsis of those. But I thought those were fine. I thought I remembered those being okay, but maybe not. Not saying that this movie isn't good, but there was just something missing for me here.
Well, I think it was a victim of what came before, so it had a lot to kind of... It couldn't abandon everything. It certainly tried to, but it had to kind of keep some of the bad and some of the good, but especially the ugly. And that's just an unfortunate side effect of, having, I guess, a cinematic universe. But I like that this movie was shot like a little bit of a dramatic telling, but, jumping between the characters and building reason to why are we at, the boarding school. And I guess it's pretty obvious that Frenchie is possessed. You know that immediately. The new duo with Irene and the girl from Mississippi.
Debra.
Debra, that's a fun dynamic. It's much more colorful and just fun than Irene and Burke. There was nothing going on there. It felt like there was actually something to teach. Debra, you said her name was?
Yeah.
And it felt like it was kind of the same. It felt like it was kind of the same lesson that Irene was kind of sort of going through, that miracles do exist in the first one, but it was a little bit more on the nose here and, welcomely so, I think, because we didn't get anything in the first one. And she's not, Deborah's not a complicated character. She's not supposed to be. And I think that was her one and only punch that she could get, was that miracles do exist. And we got it. And we got it kind of in scores in some way that they survived, I guess. But yeah. So I think there's a lot of good here. The movie's not very good, but there's a lot of really good parts that don't really connect in the right ways for me to love this movie. But like Conjuring 1 and 2, I think those are great films. I guess those are some of my kind of hip fire impressions. So talk to me a little bit about how you first feel about this film.
So the story was developed a lot better. We have, semi-interesting characters. You gave Frenchie a love interest that has a little girl, and she's kind of important here. Because I guess without her, we wouldn't have that little goat Satan creature thing come out of the glass.
Yeah, they help build a little texture in the world.
We have texture, and I mean, yeah, I was trying to figure out what Debra's point to this movie was, but yeah, okay, she's just a tag along for the miracle eyewitness. All right, cool.
I thought she was going to play as the comic relief a little bit, and I don't feel like she did.
She kind of did with the smoking thing, I guess. I guess a non-smoking is our ha-ha moment.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay. So, but not really. Not in an explicit way. Like, I guess I say that because, as often the token black person is a comic relief in horror films, and it's usually not very good. It's usually kind of stupid. Like, like we saw in Insidious, the last door, I don't know. The ninth Insidious, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where that was a great example of how to not write a comic relief character.
Yep.
I feel like this side character was handled a little bit more tastefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But I thought she was going to play a more important role.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of, okay.
She was basically ultimately kind of set up for some of the end there, which we'll get to, which was, I'm not going to lie, spoiler alerts, we'll get into it here in a second, but it's probably some of the coolest bits in all of the Conjuring.
Yep.
All of the Conjuring universe. I was like, wow, this is very neat.
So, another thing about this movie is that I didn't have the jump scares I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't there, and I didn't like it because I like getting scared, jump scared. And
they really kind of set you up in the first one in an abusive way. Like, they're just going to kind of really hit you over the head with it until you think getting hit over the head is like just part of normal life. And then they just completely take a left turn in that boat, which I appreciate on one level because they understand that was a problem in the first one, obviously.
Okay.
But they went a little far.
They took it away.
Yeah.
Completely.
Until the very end, I think. But
until the very end. Okay. So they took away the jump scares, but they still gave you a level of creepiness.
Yes.
Especially towards the end that I appreciate. It's kind of like Hereditary, where you don't have jump scares.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But you're creeped out.
Sure, yeah.
Just the same feeling. I'm not in no way comparing this film.
You gotta be careful what you say.
To the greatness. But just that kind of feeling of, I'm not watching Hereditary for the jump scare, for the screaming, for the covering my face. I'm watching it for the creepiness level. Not that this movie has a lot of that, but it's more on that level. So I didn't like that because I watched the Conjuring movies and, The Nun for that. That was a miss. That was a miss here for me.
Yes, I totally agree. Because, I mean, like you said, they basically set it up really well. They let the natural tension build, but they don't deliver in that way. They deliver in other ways, and it's very cool here and there, but like the end, pretty much just the end, it all kind of all of its payoff for the end, and it works really well on that level, but we do kind of lose the essence of this more or less junk foody kind of horror film.
Yeah.
So I know I totally get that. Even though I don't usually get jump scared, I do like a cool, fun jump scare, there. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess I didn't realize that until you said that just now, but yeah. So I guess I want to talk a little bit about the setup, because the setup in the first movie is pretty weak. And I think we get a pretty weak setup here too. It's just kind of funny that it just seems like they have a hard time driving the nun story. I just feel like there isn't. And I feel like that has half to do with picking up the pieces of the first one, because we immediately are reintroduced to Irene, right? And we're told, all right, Burke's dead. All right, now we know immediately that we're retconning the first movie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Frenchie's interested in a teacher.
Yep.
He's found love. He's found parenthood, fathership. He wants, he loves his kid too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That takes off all of the minor little bits of slack we had with his small infatuation with Irene in the beginning.
Yeah.
Sister Irene is anonymous. We know the nun. Everyone knows the nun's story, but they don't know who the nun is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She has no legacy. She's not a hero, except within the Vatican, of course, and everything, which helps kind of initiate this story. But there is none, within the public. Okay, so we're just completely abandoning the first one. The first movie ultimately ends on a vessel to let Valak out in the world.
Yeah.
Through Frenchie.
Yep.
So that sucks. That makes the first movie even worse.
Damn.
It really does, and I hate it. I hate when these situations happen where, like, I was worried about that with Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Where, because they're so integral to one another that they really hinge on each other. If the second one didn't really deliver, the first one is going to suffer, and then it's going to go the other direction as well. And so we're kind of getting the contrapositive of that, where they know the first one's bad, so they have to correct course.
Yeah.
In some way. And it's I'm sure it's not fun. It's probably a little frustrating for, Michael and friends to
Michael and friends. I try not to laugh.
To have to deal with that,
Yeah.
So it's a little annoying that the first movie exists now in the form it does with this, because I guess it's especially annoying because it's the Conjuring cinematic universe. Nun 1 isn't just the launching point for the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Not the series, right, per se, but it's immediately started to be corrected in a better direction. It's just like, why couldn't that have just been how things were in the first place? I don't know. It's just it sucks. It makes me dislike Nun 1 a little bit more. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I definitely understand that, but I guess I do appreciate that they didn't try to keep going with the bullshit. They realized that the mistake was done, and they know they needed to reinvent something else, yet still keep these characters, because I do like these characters. I do like Sister Irene. I think she did, a decent job in the first one, so I like that they kept her here. And I like Frenchie a lot too, so I'm glad he was the vessel and he came along. But they aren't even the same characters anymore either. So, all right, it's okay. It's okay that they did that, but it's a waste of time. Yeah,
they neutered the little character they had. I thought it was so funny when we were watching it. They were like, "Oh, Burke is dead." I saw it coming a mile away. I was like, "They're not. They're closing all loose ends on the first film." I was like, "This is." It's just so funny.
How did he die? Oh, cholera. Oh.
Okay.
That's it. Cool. That's the death you gave him. Nice.
The other early silly point, I thought, to get things rolling, it's, I guess, similar in the first one, were the deaths. They're like, this priest, this nun, this other religious person has died here, and there. And they're like, it's all pointing back to Romania. Just like, how? I'd like to know. A throwaway line would be nice. How exactly?
Didn't they say that it's traveling in a path?
Sure, it's traveling west, but Romania is one of the most West European countries. Like, there's a lot of west. You know, and I realize we're headed towards France, right across the southern part of Europe. But like, what? I just want a little. I thought that was a little funny.
That was funny.
And then I guess we find out that they are potential descendants of Saint Lucy, right? Which, I guess because they said that, I feel like we needed just a little bit more connective tissue there, especially because it's tangential setup to Sister Irene also being a descendant of Saint Lucy. So I was like, that's potentially really fun. I wish we could have gotten something a little deeper there, like maybe a cousin of Irene's was killed as well or something. I don't know. Something a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how they could have played that. Or maybe something with her mom, too. Maybe it's the mom. I mean, well, it has to be the mom's line, right? Because the mom's the one that went insane and blah, blah, blah. So maybe we could have gotten something there instead of flashbacks of them frolicking in the grass, which I still don't get those.
Yeah, they were a little tonally strange. I don't feel like they were proper setup to adding into the fact that she's a descendant of Lucy.
Yeah, and then her having those flashbacks, and then Sister Debra asked her about her past or her mom or her family, whatever. And she's like, oh, I don't have any, but whatever she said. I don't understand the whole point of the flashbacks and her denying that she has family, or I think she said she didn't know her family. I don't remember what she said, but I don't know. What was the point of that? And it happened several times.
Yeah.
Her flashbacks.
Yeah, it did. They were weird. They were weird. I don't know what they really added to. Like, I heard what they were saying, but yeah, the flashbacks themselves were weird.
Yeah.
Like, they should have, like, it would have been better if, I mean, we did see her mom get, like, taken away in one of them, I think.
I think she just told us.
Did she just tell us that? Like,
I think
we probably
so.
should have seen her get taken away. Something like that. Like her arguing with her dad or something about, I'm not crazy or something. Or, something like that.
Like they always do.
Like they always do. And then her get taken away. Yeah, I don't remember if we did or not. But yeah, something like that. Because they were just like close-ups of like them. Real focus on their eyes and stuff. And I get that.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, but it doesn't add to anything, It's just...
Yeah.
Okay. We got that through other means, right? And they do a decent job building that up. I think they come at it from a couple different angles, which is more than I could ever ask for in this movie. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's when you've got a horror movie, right? It's hard to build character, that's not the focal point.
Yeah.
So I get that. I appreciate that a lot. And I guess I do kind of like, because I had a problem with Irene being the one who was selected in the first one. I like that Debra just tags along. She just shows up. I'm like, okay, that's way better than whatever happened with Irene in the first place.
Because she has visions.
I have no doubt in my mind they had no idea where this was going around the first movie. And someone read the story of St. Lucy, I guess, and was like, got it. We know how to fix this movie. I don't know how that happened, but that person needs a raise.
Someone was like, visions, eyes. Oh. St. Lucy. All right, got it.
There we go. Another holy relic. It works out because that is nice connective tissue to the first movie, that we have this second relic. I now wish it would embrace the national treasure-ness of it a little bit more. And then if there was a third nun, I don't think there is a third nun. I think it's going to tie into the next Conjuring. I think that's the projection here.
Okay.
I think that's the trajectory, I should say. But I think they did a better job building up the myth, the legend, the etherealness of the eyes. Because I don't know about you, but I was, even after seeing the blood of Jesus Christ, I was still surprised that the eyes were real and they weren't like some metaphorical thing. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You weren't surprised at all?
Not surprised at all. I was waiting for it.
Because I feel like, well, either way, I feel like they did set it up a little better, right?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
And I wish, because you can only really pull that trick once, I guess, and they already showed us Jesus. They wasted it. They showed us Jesus's blood immediately, and that's just it. Which should have been a great setup, obviously. But I do like it all kind of funneled into this old monk monastery and them searching for the eyes and stuff. I felt like there was a mission,
Yeah.
There was no mission in the first movie. We need missions. We need objectives, we need motivation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. We need people running because there's a deadline or timeline that needs to be met.
Urgency.
We need priests driving really fast cars. We need the demon almost about to come out before the person gets there. We need that. So I'm really curious about how you felt about that scene where the magazines were flipping really fast on the magazine stand.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a spectacle scene, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm really curious on your thoughts.
So it was cool, but they spent, I don't know, twice the length of time they needed to. It was going on and on and on. It probably went on for like a solid 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
I was like, why is this taking so long? This is cool. I don't know if it was CG or I'm sure it was, I'm sure it was a combination of both at the very least, but they had figured something out with that look, that technology, that graphic flair, and they were like, we gotta. It reminded me of stuff that happens in games all the time, where we have this new physics mechanic, we have this new thing that is really cool, and we need to put it in everywhere we can. But you can't do that in a movie. Obviously, you only get really one shot to do things like this, but that's when you spend lots of time on it. I was just like, what is going on? Yeah. It was cool, but oh my God, it was so long.
It was way too long.
Yeah, okay. I had forgotten about that until you brought that up. I thank you for bringing that up. Yes. I'm glad you felt the same way.
I didn't even have time to get creeped.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Spooked.
It dissipated. It's like building up and stuff, and the pages are flipping, and you're like looking at your watch.
Yeah, and it exactly. It's not even suspense building, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting.
Past that.
It passed that. And I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I felt weird. I felt off.
Yes.
Like, I took too long. It was weird. And I know people were talking about it, saying how cool it was, and it was like one of their favorite parts, and blah blah blah. But I don't know. I didn't like it.
No, I think it ruined the good it had.
Yes.
I think it's cool, but it's just like, I don't know. It made me uneasy in the wrong way too.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I don't know. It kind of feels like it's like a sex scene that just goes on a little too long. It's just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Why am I watching this? This is not.
What is this leading to?
Yeah. It was weird. I totally agree. Totally agree. I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, it was a complete flex. It was.
It was a flex. That's a good way to put it. Yep. Total flex.
Look what we can do. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay, stop.
It happens in games all the time when they figure out a specific mechanic and make you do it over and over again. It's like, okay. In the game, it makes more sense, though, because there's a lot to a game.
Yeah. It almost reminds me, and I don't know how far apart these movies are, but it reminds me of Frozen, when they figured out that kind of animation, and then they took it maybe a little hardcore with Moana and the water, and they really figured out how to do water in Moana.
Yeah.
And then just let's splash water and everything after that.
Yes. Yeah, Pixar is not just Pixar, but the whole Disney 3D animation family is big time guilty of that. Yeah, absolutely.
But never did I feel uneasy like I did here
No.
watching any Disney Pixar movie.
No, it'd be like Disney doing some weird, like earlier on during like the Tangled era or whatever, or Frozen even, where they just like do a weird hair thing or something. You're just like, for too long. I could see that being kind of weird in a Disney movie. The water thing is, they managed to make sense. They managed to make it make sense because it happens in the Pacific Ocean. So
yeah, yep.
So there's a lot of water out there. So yeah, no, I get that.
Maybe like making Elsa like clean around her castle just to flex the castle that they spend all that time working on.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why is Elsa cleaning? All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's funny.
But okay, I'm glad we're on the same page there, because I thought I was just missing something here, and I felt way out of, my comfort. I don't know.
No, that was weird. You saw stuff online kind of praising that?
Yeah. Like, all right. I mean, it was like you said, it was cool. It was. But for like the first minute.
Yeah.
Even 2 minutes. All right.
I mean, there were probably 10 edits across the magazine.
Yes.
Like, it was
too much.
It was too much. It was too much. But I can see like one. I don't even go on and on about this. We're acting like the magazines here. But I could see maybe 3 or 4. But man, it was like all over the place on them. They were flexing that for sure. They were totally flexing that. Which I get it. I probably would too if I was in their shoes. But someone should have at some point watched that and been like, all right, people get it. I get it. We get it. We don't need to. It kind of interrupts what's going on here.
Maybe they did and they got fired.
Yeah, maybe.
Shut up. We just learned this.
That's funny. Yeah, and then she just passes out. And then Debra finds her. And that's another one of those funny things I thought of you. Debra was far enough away that she had no idea that was Irene on the floor, on the ground out there. I was like, that's funny. It's whatever, but...
Could have been a drunk out there, passed out. You don't know.
But it was Irene. Good guess.
Good guess, Debra.
Did you like the kind of dueling stories with Irene and Frenchie?
No. I typically like a perspective switch, but here it wasn't doing it for me. I mean, I was way more interested in Frenchie's story. I feel like we got way more characters there. More interesting characters with, the little girls and the bullies, and even the like the headmistress, whatever she's called, of the house. And I mean, she even got a quick little backstory on why they don't use the chapel at the boarding school with her son. Her son Cedric had died in there, so that's why people don't go in there. I mean, it was way more fun, more interesting than anything Sister Irene was doing. And I know she was just mainly there to get to Frenchie, but she didn't do it in a great fun way. So, it could have been more. It could have been more with them, with Debra and Irene.
Yeah, no, totally. I guess I liked the kind of inflection point in their story where they were talking to the priest librarian, their librarian that was an expert in demonic shit and stuff, and was like, this old monk, he was given the eyes of St. Lucy, and he buried him in the monastery, and look, it's now a boarding school. And they're like, oh shit. It's like, okay, that's fun. I like that. It really was just kind of a similar thing that was going on in the first movie, where they were just kind of wandering around aimlessly on some level, but it was in such small little, with the exception of the magazine sequence, it was really kind of interspersed in Frenchie's story, and so I think it managed to hold up okay. I could see maybe 10 minutes shaven off here and there of their story, and maybe a couple within the core of Frenchie's story, helping this movie a little more. But I thought it was okay.
Yeah, and part of my issue with it was her visions and what she saw, and leaving me confused on, was it real? Was it not real? Did she meet the little boy? Did she not meet the little boy? And I guess how her visions work. Does she see the future? Does she see the past? Does she see the present? I mean, she knew about the rosary when Debra was like, the boy left this, and it was the rosary, right? And then she said that the name of the priest that he had taken it from. So Irene said that. And okay, you only knew that because you met the boy, but I don't know. It just left me a bit confused.
No, I totally get that. I would like to say that it is more of a, like, she's got to touch the thing or be in the area.
Because she had the vision of Frenchie early in the film.
That's true.
So I'm confused because the Vatican guy came to see her. Now she touched the pictures. See, I don't know. Her visions are a little all over the place.
Yeah, they are trying to place some logic in them, but I don't know. I wish they were either a little bit more ethereal and or kind of up for interpretation, or a little bit more cut and dry because of her connection to St. Lucy. So, yeah, I'm kind of struggling with how to think about them.
Maybe I need a Nun 3 to explain it. But for right now, I can't place the visions, and I'm not even going to think about what happened in the first one cuz I doubt they thought that through.
Yeah, no, they're trying to get away from the first one.
Yeah. So I don't know, just, what's going on there? Could I have used less of her visions? Probably.
Maybe. The ethereal thing would have helped because they would have felt more dreamlike, and they could have sprinkled in the answers, and then you only see them in retrospect. So that would have been cool, but it may have been one of these things where they want the connective tissue to Lorraine in the Conjuring films, so they don't want to do away with them. And I think she deals with her visions by being in the place, touching the object. She can see the past of the thing.
Okay.
But it kind of was established in the first one that there's really no rhyme or reason, and I don't think they knew how to write around that, and so they just kind of let that fly because it serves as a nice, convenient kind of catalyst that can just pop up whenever it needs to, just in case they don't know where to take these guys from point A to point B. So I could see it, but if they were too interpretatable, she may have had a hard time getting to the monastery, but at the same time that clue came from the library guy. How did she end up at the library?
Yeah, I don't know how they end up there. I mean, all I remember was them, she woke up from when she passed out, and Debra gave her the rosary, and then they head off to, because of the symbol on the rosary.
Okay.
They're like, we know where we can go to get help.
Okay, that's fine. And then meet the priest library guy there.
Yeah.
Okay. I do like that we learn, I guess, at the same time there that Valak was a fallen angel.
Yeah.
Bringing some history to our demon. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, you do like that.
I guess a little is better than none. That's pretty much all we get, really. And he's kind of then has normal demon motives, and he wants a thing. He wants the eyes. He wants power to get revenge on humanity, goodwill, God, I don't know. Whatever demons
humans.
want. Yeah. Living and shit.
For real.
Having fun.
Well, I'm ready to talk about the end.
Yeah, I mean, so the end was pretty cool.
The end was fucking awesome.
It's kind of funny. We get a little something similar in the first movie where the end is the best part. And I don't know, it's just kind of a funny parallel that they know how to end the Nun movies, but they really don't know how to start them. And we fortunately get a lot more meat here in this one throughout. Thank you, Michael.
And friends.
Michael and friends. But yeah, the end. Tell me some thoughts on this end part. It's pretty sick.
It was pretty cool. I did not expect that goat thing. Does it have a name? Is it supposed to be Satan?
I think,
yeah. Possessed goat? Just a friend? Valak and friend? I mean...
I think it was maybe the devil.
Okay. That was fucking awesome. It didn't scare me, per se. It creeped me out. I couldn't look at it too long. But, oh my God, it was terrifying. And it was terrifying those girls. And then the fucking bully gets punctured through the door. I mean, no one's really dying in this film. Yeah.
The Conjuring universe.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. I mean, people, okay, this person died, but you don't see it happen. No one's getting hurt. But this girl got fucking stabbed. And I loved it. I thought she was a goner. But no, they just hurt her a little bit, which is fine, I guess. It would have been cooler if she died.
That would have been awesome.
But all right, you stab her. That's fine with me. And I guess this is where Sister Debra comes in and kind of helps these girls out. But
it's her moment. It's like kind of the main reason she's in the film.
That's true.
To help shepherd these kids from this crazy ass beast.
I mean, he just looked cool.
It was super cool, and I love the reveal of him. First of all, I like the setup where they're in the chapel area or whatever, and then they're giving us a little bit more texture on how the girls like to pick on the new girls or just like the bully girls, and about, you can see the devil if you look at the stained glass at the right time and stuff and everything. That's very cool. And then they look away and look back, and the goat's gone.
Yup.
It's like, okay.
What the fuck?
That's fun. That's very fun. And then I love the actual reveal where Deborah's kind of spiraling up the stairs with her flashlight, and we see him like in the corner sort of and stuff, and it's like really cool.
Yes.
It's very cool. And then it starts running down the stairs and stuff, and you'd be a better judge of saying if it got you scared or anything, but it did get me like going. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is that?
It definitely creeped me. I didn't hide my face, but it creeped me out. Like, what the fuck? Where'd this thing come from? That's from the glass. Oh my God, they just did that. How are they gonna kill this thing? All right, the demon, he's possessed. You throw some Jesus blood at him, you're good.
This thing's just...
Yeah!
He's just manifest. I like the presence of Beelzebub or the devil or whatever he is. Indicates to me that they knew the nun was no longer scary. Probably, because of the first one.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I was kind of thinking by the end of it. I was like, man, they really felt like they had to go all out on this thing to kind of counter the lack of our scary nun. The nun is still creepy looking and everything, but she's our best friend.
Yep.
We've seen her quite a bit at this point.
Yep.
Especially watching these movies back to back, and they don't capture her in a super creepy way, and they had a style, and they got to kind of keep it for consistency and everything, and that's just filmmaking for you. But they knew it, and they kind of were like, all right, we gotta counter this, and
we gotta bring out the big gun.
And they did, and they certainly did. And then they captured this thing in such a way that you never really got a good look at it, because it was captured really weird on camera and stuff. It didn't have like a smooth, organic kind of movement. It was caught really weird, and especially when it's coming down the stairs, you're like, what the fuck? And then when it's what?
When it's coming down the hallway.
And then when it's coming down the hallway, it was just
my God,
weird perspective on it and stuff, and very cool.
If there were a time that I had to cover my eyes, that would have been it. But I guess by this point, I was already, it was already a family-friendly film, so he didn't quite get me. But that was fucking creepy, and oh my God, it was awesome. That was probably my favorite part, with all the girls and him chasing them and them getting spooked and getting thrown. They were getting thrown in their rooms, like hitting the wall.
Yeah, you can't tell me some of those girls didn't die in that moment.
I mean, if they did, they didn't show it.
That was awesome. I don't know what else to say. That was definitely among the coolest bits in all of the Conjuring series.
Yep.
And then I also like the metal nature of the Irene and nun battle. Of course, I like that the nun kind of gets the upper hand, you think, at least.
Yes.
He gets the eyes, or the nun gets the eyes, and you're like, okay, it's got the eyes. I thought we were gonna have the
Yeah.
eyes. And then and then the payoff happens. The really surprising payoff that could have been built in better ways from a couple different angles, but it did kind of help sell Irene as a character finally. And her, bursting her into flames was cool, but she doesn't burn because she's like, I guess she's kind of the reincarnation, really. She's not just a descendant; she's like the reincarnation of
okay.
Saint Lucy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I guess in that moment we had an actual miracle happen, and she was kind of infused with some deeper divine power and was able to ward off the Valak, which is cool. It's very metal, I'm just completely sold on it, and I wish we would have embraced it. I don't know how we do it. And they did it a little bit, going to the library, asking around, finding different artifacts, and like connecting the dots right. Wish we could embrace the National Treasure-ness just a little bit more. Because I like that they, were like, all right, where would it be? Where would the eyes be? And then they go to the room where the goat stained glass is at, and then they hear the story, and then they put the light through the glass and identify where it's going to be. I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, they definitely kind of did a Da Vinci Code thing here too. So
I think that's where National Treasure probably starts, and the Da Vinci Code.
There it is. This is the Da Vinci Code on crack.
Yeah, that's about right. On crack.
Because I think in the Da Vinci Code, it's like, someone's the descendant of Jesus Christ, right?
Okay. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Or read the book.
I read the book, but here she's a descendant of Saint Lucy. So.
Oh, they ripped that right out.
Yeah.
Of the Da Vinci Code then.
When you said that about the reincarnation, I'm like, interesting.
Okay. They ripped that right out of Da Vinci Code. I see what's happening here. I've never seen or read the book, so I wouldn't know. And then I say National Treasure because National Treasure took the conspiracy part of the Da Vinci Code and ran with it in American history.
Yeah. Which
is very cool. I wish the other National Treasures were actually good, not just the first one. But I guess there's only room. You can only have so many secret tunnels and buildings under shit,
That's true.
Everything can't be connected undergrounds, But no, that's cool. I have to watch the Da Vinci Code.
I do want to bring up one of my favorite parts, and it's not really anything significant, but I just thought it was kind of a cool concept. But in the beginning, when that priest gets burned, we see the holy water start evaporating. That was pretty cool. I'd never seen that anywhere that I can think of, where holy water starts evaporating. So I like that. I don't know if they captured it super amazing, but definitely the concept was there, and I liked it.
Was that Valak's doing?
Yes, that was Frenchie.
I mean, does that just indicate the power of Valak?
I think so.
Not to be trifled with.
Yes. Not even holy water stands a chance.
Well, if the blood of Christ doesn't stand a chance, I don't think any holy water is going to do any good. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know what you're saying. That makes sense to me.
Obviously, Irene is going to have to become the walking, like, Thanos glove, where she's got to collect all these relics to become powerful enough to defeat Valak. So next is King Arthur's sword and the Holy Grail
and the Declaration of Independence.
And the Declaration of Independence. She's gonna fuck Valak up for once and for all. That'll be in 5 movies.
5. Yeah, she's got to collect them all first. Yeah.
That's funny. What's the glove called?
Is it the gauntlet? No.
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I have no idea.
Thought you would know.
No, I don't know the name of the glove.
Oh, I don't know. They're called Infinity Stones, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, something like that. We need that kind of movie. You know what I mean? That'd be sick.
That'd be funny. That would definitely be a comedy horror.
Yeah, they would have a hard time not making it like that, wouldn't they?
But give it a try.
Are you looking forward to the future of The Conjuring?
Yes, especially how we left this movie here. You know, we know Frenchie appears again. We know.
I know. How is he connected to Ed and Lorraine?
Yeah, exactly. And when at the very end, when he's walking off with his little family, Sister Irene kind of looks at him, and then we have some ominous music, so it's not over, and that's it. Like, what the fuck just happened? Okay, what's next? Where did it go? Who did it vessel onto?
I mean, it's still in Frenchie, as far as we know. Is Sister Irene Lorraine Warren?
I thought that. I think that. I don't know where my logic is, but I kind of had a inkling.
With the eyesight, the premonitions and stuff, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Not many people get those.
And, the connection with Frenchie.
Mm-hmm. And the nun. The nun's following
and the
Lorraine.
nun. Yes, that's right.
So there's something,
There's something there.
There's definitely something there, and
Wait, is the nun following Lorraine, or is it following the guy, Ed, whatever his name is?
I think it's following Lorraine.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get Insidious mixed up with...
Yeah,
with the
why
Conjuring.
would they use the same fucking actor? Who fucking knows?
James Wan. He must
God
like him.
Damn.
That's so funny.
Like him enough to give him the reins, and he fucks it all up.
I know, never again.
Never again. Yeah, okay. So it's Lorraine. Yeah, I'm getting that confused with the lady that follows him in Insidious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've gotta be the same person, I think.
Yes.
And I think it's cool if Sister Irene ends up being Lorraine. I think it's very cool that in real life that's her little sister.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a, complexion maturity there that you can kind of see in a fun way how many times does that happen in movies,
Yeah, rarely.
So I think she is totally.
Because it can't be Sister Irene's kid. First of all, she's a nun.
Well, yeah.
Second, not that that's going to stop nobody, but second of all, the age.
It is an obstacle at least.
Yeah.
Or hurdle. You can jump hurdles. But the age is an important part.
Yeah.
I think they line up perfectly because she's probably in her late 20s, and by the time The Conjuring rolls around, Lorraine's probably in her late 30s, 40s, early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
That I
That
could see
sounds
that.
right, yeah.
That feels right. Because I think a lot of The Conjuring happens in the late 60s, 70s.
Okay.
So I feel like the time is perfect, and then the premonitions, the connection with Frenchie of all people,
Mm-hmm.
and then the nun. It's just there's too many angles for this kind of movie for that not to be super obvious.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't from the get-go, they certainly wrote themselves in a corner, I feel like. So they're going to have a hard time getting out of it. Unless maybe it's like an older sister, like she is in real life, and then they go down that route. I don't know what that would look like, but I think the change of names would be a fun premise for a nun,
Yeah. Long lost sister, some kind of cousin, something. One last thing I had an issue with. How is defeating a demon a miracle? That's what Sister Debra wanted to see.
Yeah, no, I think the miracle part is not defeating the demon. I think the miracle part comes from they survived this incident. I think it's on that side of things.
Mm.
I can't tell you the definition of a miracle. To be honest, I'm not a priest or anything.
You're not?
I think the whole miracle concept is the ultimate lazy justification to the acceptance of knowing that you probably can't ask the right questions, let alone understand what's actually happening. You see what I'm saying?
No.
Just a laziness in...
And not having to prove anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a kind of a dogmatic way of just accepting shit happens, kind of thing.
All right. Yeah, it was just said too much. Like, oh, witnessing a miracle. It's like, what's the miracle?
And that's unfortunately for like a writer on a Conjuring film, it's going to be hard to explain because they're not religious philosophers or even philosophers. They're not of this caliber of mind, most likely. So they're going to have to go with just the really crazy thing happens and that people survive, everyone survives, or we're able to take down the evilest of evils kind of thing. And so it's easy way to kind of shove what a miracle is under the rug and not have to really get into it. So I wouldn't think too much about it.
It was just said too much.
It was, and I think that's...
Like, I get it if you say it just to drive, the story along. But this is somebody's sole purpose for traveling with Sister Irene. And this is her, come to Jesus moment on why she left her family. And I mean, it was a bigger deal. So it was, it just stood out. Like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
No, I get it. I totally get it. These kinds of movies have to be careful with asking real questions. I will say that.
Yeah. And,
you got to applaud them on some level that they know some of the interesting questions to ask, right? That's fun, but it's kind of like know your lane.
Yeah, I would have liked it better if she was like, I really want to see a possession. Yeah. And that's why I'm going. And it's like, all right, I'm with you there. Like, oh, I want to witness a miracle. Which is what? You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I'm not a fan of the miracle concept.
Yeah, even if she was like, I want to see you kick ass like you did in the first one, kind of play it that way. Like you're the infamous anonymous. I want to see you in action. Like, okay, all right, and we got a fan, I guess.
That just built up the MCU qualities of this movie, which would be cool. I mean, this movie taps into a really interesting metal demonic thing, like Pope's Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like Irene and the guy from Pope's Exorcist should team up.
Yes.
We need a crossover.
We need a crossover. I'm for that.
What movie is going to cross over with Sinister? Insidious,
yeah.
That's the rumor, I guess, which is such a mistake. I feel like Sinister should obviously cross over with Conjuring if it's going to be anything.
But we don't make the calls.
We just
say it.
We just give free advice that no one takes.
That's true.
Not even charging for it. All right, man. Do you have a budget guess for me?
I do. So my budget guess, since the first Nun was 22.
A little higher than you thought.
I went 30. Boom. Easy.
Okay. It says here that it was 38
million. That's close.
Yeah.
Close enough.
25% off, but...
Damn. I should have said 35.
35, I would have accepted 35.
Dang. So close. Okay. All right.
We're getting pretty expensive here, aren't we? I can see it. It's a much more beautiful movie. It
was probably all in the magazine flipping.
Yeah. I mean, the magazine bit was cool, but that was probably a $5 million scene.
Damn.
Yeah, I can see it. There were, tons of sets. Seemed like the school was really fleshed out, and that's a lot of money for this kind of film, though. Still, James Wan needs to teach a class on how to budget, how to spend your money.
He needs to come teach me. I feel like I've said that before, but it's still true.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of him and maybe Ari Aster or Darren Aronofsky with The Whale.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
they need to be finance professors.
Yeah, they need to do like some kind of master class on how to
film budgeting 101.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It went on to make quite a bit of money, though. Not as much proportionally, but it went on to make $262 million. So very, very good.
Okay. Still good. Yep.
But not 10 times their budget. That's always That's always nuts to see.
When did it come out? Do you know?
Came out September 8th.
Okay.
So it's done. It's still at theaters, but it's done making money, really. So, I mean, that's awesome, though. I'm glad to see the Conjuring move right along, making money and stuff. And hopefully there are many more to come. There's more good Conjuring films than there are Saw films. Eh?
No.
Oh, no? Okay.
No. Did you even think about what you said?
Yeah. There's like 3 good Saw films.
No, sir.
There's at least 4 good Conjuring films.
No. I'll come back to you on that.
Okay.
Maybe we could do a Saw ranking and then a Conjuring ranking.
That's a good idea.
To prove you wrong.
That's a good idea. I like that.
All right.
Well, thank you for watching this film with me. I had a lot of fun with it.
Me too. I had a lot of fun talking about the nun.
Good one. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Filmistines. I hope you guys go see it. Go support the Nun in whatever capacity you can. Decent film. Much better than Nun 1. Yep. Right?
Agreed.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Again, Nun 2 makes Nun 1 just look worse. I hate it for them. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah? Okay, good.
Agreed.
Gotcha.
I mean, I would have wanted more cheesy jump scares, but that's probably just a personal thing. Nothing against the film, because you completely switched everything, so no need to keep the jump scares.
Yeah, again, they probably thought the Nun itself had lost all of its mojo in that camp, which is maybe kind of true.
Yeah.
But so they kind of made up for it. They tried to, I feel like, at least towards the end there, so
yeah.
It's good though. But yeah, man, thank you for talking to me about the Nun too. That was good talk.
You're welcome.
Remember, you can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistines over there on Google Podcasts, YouTube. YouTube's not up to date, but Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Patreon. Come by, leave a comment, question, concern, thought, idea, inquiry, complaint, whatever you got.
Sure.
Journal.
Grocery list.
That's that's fine too. But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines, signing off.
That sounded weird.